Have you ever found yourself, I don't know, canceling plans just so you can have a quiet night in? Society can be quick to label that as being lonely or antisocial. But what if it's actually a sign of something way deeper? Today, we're going to get into the real psychology behind people who consciously choose to be alone. You know how it is. Most people see someone choosing solitude and they just jump to conclusions. They must be lonely, right? Or maybe they're emotionally distant. But what if the reality is the total opposite? What if it's actually a sign of being deeply self-aware, emotionally mature, and making a powerful choice to protect your own peace? And this right here gets to the absolute heart of it. For so many of us, being alone isn't about escaping other people. It's about escaping the performance, It's that simple, incredible feeling of relief when you can just finally exhale. Okay, so first things first, we've got to clear up a huge misconception. Being alone and being lonely, they might sound similar, but psychologically they are worlds apart. Let's really redefine what we mean by solitude. Think of it this way. True solitude isn't really about the absence of people. It's about the absence of noise. The noise of expectations, of having to put on a show, of constantly managing everyone else's energy. It's basically a recovery state for your soul. So why does that recovery become so important, so necessary? Well, because for a lot of people, the cost of being on all the time is just too high. Let's break down what that price of peace really looks like. I mean, think about it. When you're around people, there's all this unspoken pressure, right? You feel like you have to explain your choices or maybe water down your personality a bit. You have to put on a happy face even when you're not feeling it. Or sometimes you even end up being an emotional sponge for others. Day in and day out, that becomes exhausting work. And get this, there's actually a name for it: emotional labor. It's all that work you do, the listening, the performing, the reassuring, often in a completely one-way exchange. When you're constantly giving out more energy than you get back, your brain starts to learn a very simple equation. Social interaction equals drain, and being alone equals recharge. And after enough of those draining interactions, you just hit a tipping point. It gets to a point where the quiet, calm feeling of your own company feels so much more valuable than the struggle to belong in places that just take too much from you. But hey, it's not always about avoiding something negative. A lot of the time, it's about leaning into something incredibly positive, having a rich and vibrant inner world. You see, for people who are naturally reflective or analytical, being alone is absolutely essential. It's where you process conversations, where you analyze emotions, where you connect all the dots. Too much social chatter can actually interrupt that vital mental flow. For you, silence isn't boring at all. It's the space where the real thinking gets done.
And this is really the big divide, isn't it? For some people, being alone feels empty, uncomfortable, maybe even boring. But for others, it's where they feel most regulated, clear-headed, and productive. And listen, neither one is wrong. They're just different ways of being wired.
So, preferring a really deep one-on-one conversation over a loud party, that's not a social failing. Not at all. It's just a different processing style. It's a preference for depth over breadth. Simple as that. Now, let's talk about the journey to self-reliance, because this is a huge piece of the puzzle. Often, the choice to be alone is rooted in this well-developed ability to be your own source of comfort. This path, it often starts way back. Maybe comfort wasn't always there for you from other people, so you learned out of necessity how to provide it for yourself. You developed the skills to self-soothe, to regulate your own emotions. And once you become your own safe place, you no longer need others to feel okay. And that, naturally, makes you way more selective about who you let into your world. And this leads to a question that I bet so many of you will get instantly. Have you ever been in a room full of people, everyone laughing and talking, and you just felt completely and utterly alone? That feeling is a powerful reason why we choose solitude. Okay, so this brings us to what might be the most important point of all. Choosing to be alone often isn't about avoiding people. It's about a deep, uncompromising search for genuine connection. See, people who prefer solitude have often been hurt. Not in one big, dramatic way, but over and over again in these small, subtle ways. You share something vulnerable, and it's just met with silence. You consistently show up for a friend who's never there for you. Your feelings get dismissed because you're too sensitive. Each one of those is like a tiny paper cut, and over time, your brain learns that being vulnerable is a huge gamble. And this is the real key right here. The withdrawal isn't from people, it's from that awful feeling of disconnection. It's about avoiding those shallow conversations and relationships where you just feel completely invisible. At the end of the day, it becomes a choice for honesty. Being alone feels more real and, frankly, less lonely than performing in a relationship that has no real substance. You choose your own company because, hey, at least it doesn't pretend to be something it's not. So if you're listening to this and nodding your head, you need to hear this loud and clear. It does not mean something is wrong with you. It means you've learned what drains you and what protects you. It's a sign that you value your own emotional well-being enough to stop forcing connections that just don't feel right. It's a sign of maturity. So let's just reframe this one last time. Choosing to be alone isn't isolation. It's self-respect. It's you declaring that you are no longer willing to trade your peace for temporary company. It's the quiet confidence of knowing that your own presence is and always will be enough.